Hello guys. I'm going to do a little bit of a difference in the way I present today because actually my slides stuck. All right. So I apologize for that. I'm not able to present based on the slides that I prepared. But what I do right now is to answer some of the questions that has been coming in, especially from people who have signed up for the webinars. And hopefully that will be helpful for you. And if you want to ask a question, there is a Q&A button whereby you can actually put in the questions. Okay? So first question that I get is from someone who wants to earn $10,000 a month, right? And he is facing this. All right. So first and foremost, all right, I think all of us understand that income is a function of our performance. Is that right? So if you want a higher income, if you want to double your income, for instance, it's obvious that you have to perform at a higher level. You have to perform better, isn't it? Okay. So the question is really, how do I perform better? All right. If your income is the goal that you have, if you want to double, triple, quadruple your income. Okay? And of course, there's a $1 million question, right? How do I actually break through? How do I actually achieve the quantum leap that I want? How do I actually perform based on the original plan that I had when I first joined the industry? It's a $1 million question. All right? The fact of the matter is that only the top 6% achieve $1 million round table. 6%, which means 94% of the financial advisors, insurance advisors in the world do not achieve MDRT, okay, much less COT or even TOT, right? Which is the reason why I'm always saying that, you know, it is a mystery, you know, for many of us who are still not there yet, who are not achieving your results yet. And that's the reason why it's important for you to be so open to learning, because it is only through learning that you will see differently. You will begin to uncover things that you've never seen. And once you uncover those things, your results will change immediately. Why? Because once you uncover it, you will change the way you do things, because the way you think about them is different now. Okay? So again, if you want to have a higher income, whether it's 10,000 even or more, it all begins with uncovering how you can do better. Okay? And about the issue of confidence, all right? It is said that when you know that you know, confidence replaces fear. Okay? When you know that you know, confidence replaces fear. Confidence is a issue. It has nothing to do with sales, life, even, you know, in that regard. It is something to do with us. It is something to do with me. It is a function of my personality, my being, the way I think, the way I know myself, the way I am aware of things. All right, which is also the reason why a large part of our mentoring coaching program for sales advisors, financial insurance advisors, not only we talk about sales ideas, presentations, not only we talk about, you know, how to sell $1 million case, or even about business insurance, so on and so forth. We devote a large part of the program to help the person, because it is the person the advisor himself or herself that will make the difference as to whether he or she is going to achieve MDRT or COT or maybe just surviving. Okay? The professional knowledge that you are learning, that you pass your exams, you get credentialized with your CFP, AFP, CLU, CHFC, all those are good. Okay, but it is no good if you don't take care of the person, because it is the who is performing. Right? I always say during my seminars, the person always go before the professional. The professional financial advisor that you are, the person is you. Right? You are the one who is going to make things happen. Right? And in my guess, in my experience over 10 years of working with individuals, including sales advisors, without is the person that we find certain issues that need to be worked on, and confidence is a good example. And without confidence, you cannot sell big. You cannot sell big. And one of the 5 shifts that we talk about in the webinar actually is talking about selling big. Because, I mean, it's obvious, if you can sell big, what is the difference between you and the next person? If the next person collects $400 a month and you collect $4,000 a month, you're collecting 10 times the amount. So it's obvious it's one of the shifts that you need to master, to learn, right? And of course, if you want to do really high production, maybe 40,000 as the premium that you are used to. But of course, not many of us can do that, and not many of us can believe that. And that is the issue that we need to work on, which is ourselves. Okay. Bring up a valuable component, which is about her ability to deal with people and knowing how to best communicate with them. All right. In one of our mastery modules in our mastery, we talk about people mastery. Okay, just now we talk a lot about personal mastery. Okay, what Rachel brings up here relates more to people mastery. How do you really communicate with people? And the reason why I'm saying that she brings up is because this is so important. If you have an issue in this area, it becomes very, very challenging for you, not only to do sales, but probably in many other areas of your life. Because why? Because we are dealing with people, all right? You go to the market, you deal with people. You buy things, you deal with people. You want to sell things, you deal with people, right? And of course, for you to be a good financial advisor, insurance advisor, it is obvious that you must be really good in dealing with people. Otherwise, how are you going to influence them? How are you going to make things happen? Isn't it? Right? So, okay, bear in mind this, all right? Even as I attempt to help you to understand things better at this webinar, in today's situation, do not have the idea that there is a magic bullet that will solve all your problems. All right? See the truth for what it is. And then have the courage to pursue the truth, to do what you need to resolve your situation. Okay, why do I say this? All right, I've got people from different countries. I know ever since the internet has become more and more popular, from India, from Malaysia, from Philippines, and all that. And when they know that I'm helping advisors to break through to achieve their MDRTs, or even TOT, they will connect with me, and it is very obvious that whenever they ask me a question, they are asking for a one bullet answer. You know what I'm trying to say? They want me to give them an answer that solves all their problems. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you is that there's no such thing. So if you are looking for something that doesn't exist, you can look for your entire life. It's not going to happen, right? Right. So the reason why I'm telling you this is to bring it to your awareness that there's no such thing. That it is actually a discovery process about how things are happening, how performance comes about, what is stopping you, uncovering your blind spots. What did you do? Did you do right, or what did you not do right? So on and so forth. So when you begin to see all those things, you will start to change automatically. Okay. You know, for example, if I were to tell you things like, do not speak too much, learn to listen more, and then you realize that you have been speaking a lot. What will you do next? If you really want to change your results, you will start to speak lesser. You will start to listen more. You will learn the skills of active listening. So this is an example. When you make the change, this is what's going to happen, and you're going to see different results in the work and the results that you are getting. Okay? And people, communicating with people, being effective with people is exactly that. Okay? In people mastery, we have 22 qualities that we teach our mentees to have, to practice. All right? And 4 emotional, powerful states that you must get yourself into in order to enjoy power and influence and favor with people. Okay? And in one of the shifts that we talk about, for the 5 shifts, we actually talk about having an empowering mindset. An empowering mindset. So all those must come together in order for you to be able to see the results that you want. Okay? Okay, so very quickly, I want to address Victor's question. Victor talked about being new in the industry, and he wants to acquire the skills to acquire MDRT in the shortest possible time. Okay, so that is admirable, all right, Victor. What I want to say to you first and foremost is the industry that you've chosen to be in financial services, right? It has no respect you being new or being a veteran. Okay? It does not mean that being new, you will not perform as well as the veteran. That's what I'm trying to say. There's no respect to the number of years that you're in the industry. You can be new, you can be top. Okay? The question is, do you have what it takes? And do you have the skills that you are talking about here to reach your goal in a short time? Right? So I'm very happy whenever I see people asking the right questions, right? Because only when you ask the right questions, then you can get to the answer that you really need. Okay? And when I see people asking the wrong questions, that troubles me all the time. Because why? Because when you ask the wrong questions, you will never get the answer. Right? And actually, mentoring coaching is about the mentor, the coach asking you the right questions. And if I can ask you the right questions, and if you think about those questions and you give me the answer, you would have discovered the answer for yourself. And that is my secret in our mentoring success, to help the advisors to get answers themselves. Because why? When you get the answers yourself, it stays with you forever. And that change that you make will be permanent. And that is how we help you to get permanent results. Okay? And isn't that what we want, permanent results? Have you got too much of the rah-rah motivation? How many years have you in the industry to experience all the training, the congresses, and all the rah-rah? Not that rah-rah is not good, all right? It can be enjoyable. You can laugh, enjoy the seminar, the talks, and all that. But ultimately, it is not the rah-rah or the feel-good that you are going after. Ultimately, remember, you have one life. You have chosen this career, this business. It is for you to make the best of it. And if you ever find yourself in a situation where you could not get the answer, you must find all ways to get to the answers, regardless of how challenging it is. Because if you don't, nobody else is going to do it for you. Right? That is the way it is. Okay. Of course, you see people perform, and you wonder how they do it. it is not how they look, it is not how they sound, how they speak. If you can understand what I'm trying to say. Some top producers fare very badly in all these areas. They don't look good, they don't speak as well, they don't, dress as well, and so on and so forth. But they are the top producers, and you are always asking how come, why, and that's the reason why it's a secret. Okay, so if our paths ever cross, you will begin to realize the real answer. All right, and the real answer comes again, remember, from the right questions that will be put to you. Okay, I'm paid for knowing the questions. All right, and when I can lead you into those questions, you will begin to get the answers yourself. You will begin to make those shifts that we talk about, the 5 shifts, right? Because why? Because you will begin to see the blind spots that has been eluding you all these years. Okay, so if you are a veteran or many years in the business, you probably better appreciate what I'm trying to say. You try again and again, and somehow it's not working, or it's not working as well as you want it to. All right, but if you are really new, like Victor, one encouragement for you, as I mentioned, is that just because you are new, don't put yourself down, don't look yourself down. You can overtake anybody you want to if you are ready, if you have the skills, if you have the insights, if you have the knowledge. Right? In our program, we call it mastery. You must have the mastery. Okay? Not only must you have the mindset, you must have the mastery. And mastery is the one thing that I find, apart from mindset, mastery is the one thing I find missing in many advisors. And that explains their struggle day in and day out, and not getting to the answers that they want. Okay? Even if you're performing MDRT right now, what I want to recommend and suggest to you is that you can go higher. Okay? How is the formula? The formula is the same. You must uncover the things that you have not seen yet, not yet seen. You must make those changes in those areas so that you can begin to get your results faster, easier, and more effectively. Okay? Mastery, or you want to call it skills, all right? Actually takes time to learn. No martial artist becomes an expert overnight. Okay? I always talk about Bruce Lee in our program as an example. We talk about sports people, we talk about high performance people in order to help you understand about performance mastery. Okay? And one of the things that we always talk about is that these people are so well rehearsed, so well practiced. Right? Unfortunately, many of the sales advisors, financial advisors, insurance advisors that we are talking to are not as well practiced as they should be. Okay, and yet they're asking why is it that they're not getting the answers. And of course, to make the situation worse, the so-called training and guidance in the agency environment may not be optimal. I would like to say that. I mean, it has happened for years. Many times it's attrition game. You come in, you don't make it, they let you go. Okay, but again, this is where you must take personal responsibility to make it happen for yourself. Okay, so skills, again, it takes time, but only the best will really invest in themselves to acquire the right skills and then to practice those right skills. All right, so not only must you practice, you must acquire the right skills. If you don't even know what is the right skills, practicing them is no use. If you keep practicing the things, you're in trouble. Okay, so finally, I have a gentleman here about the strategy to do MDRT. Okay, so how to achieve high production? I believe there are many ways. Okay, the important thing about this is that apart from learning at least one way, the other aspect of it I want to recommend is that the one way or the other ways that you are using to achieve your $1 million round table or even more must not be stressful and challenging and difficult. Okay, let me illustrate to you what I mean. Okay, during my selling days, before I qualified for my first MDRT, I was actually the first in my agency during that time to break through. Okay, and the culture of the agency is like that. When one person do it, the rest tend to do it. Pretty much like the 4-minute mark. If somebody break the record, the rest start to believe they can do it and they want to do it, and then they go for it. So during that year, I actually achieved my $1 Million Roundtable by July of the year. And I remember during the agency meeting, we were trying to discuss and help each other. And one of the other MDRT qualifier was sharing, and he was talking about how stressful and not only just talking about that, but it is shown in his life, his way of talking and his thinking and all that. I remember very clearly during that moment, as I think and see a weakness of myself, what's in front of me. I asked myself, if achieving my MDRT is so stressful, would I have gone for it? Would I have tried to do it? Okay, my answer to myself is I won't. I will not. Okay, because yes, it's good to achieve MDRT, but the thing is, if you have to do it in such a stressful and stressful manner, you probably got to think again, because it's going to affect your entire being. It's going to affect your entire life, right? And that is the thing that helped me to qualify for my $1 Million Roundtable again by learning how to do it easily and effectively. And today has become the hallmark of our coaching mentoring program. Okay, so what we want to recommend to you is to learn a system that not only allows you to perform, but to perform easily and effectively in a non-stressful, non-strifeful manner. Okay, so that you can really enjoy your work and enjoy the fruits of your labor. All right. All right. So I have not a lot of time for today's webinar. All right. Especially I was not able to give you the slides. I apologize for that. But this variation by telling you some of the answers that is being submitted by several of you. I hope it has been useful. I have been one of you. I have been in the sales and insurance and financial advisory line about 10 years. I know what is it to struggle. I know what is it to achieve my $1 Million Roundtable. I know what is it to walk on air, to have the great feeling of having been the top 6%, achieved being the top 6%, attending the $1 Million Roundtable qualifications, becoming a qualifying member. So I pretty much know what's happening in the industry, and I have an in-depth knowledge of what's happening to many. And I believe that many advisors are really not getting to the real issue. Let me conclude with this story. All right. During my selling days, we often have a person called Tony Gordon, who is a popular guru, much more than top of the table, and later on become president of MDRT. All right. When he used to come down often to share, I took the opportunity to always talk to these gurus to learn from them. And at one of the sessions, I actually approached him and asked him during tea break, about how he see the changes in the Singapore landscape, the Singapore industry during that time. Because during that time, we are going through a lot of changes. Well, we are going through changes still right now, but during that time, change not so comfortable, so convenient. All right, now changes is more of a norm. And when I asked him the question, he looked at me and he said, "Can you ask me during Q&A?" So he's the boss, right? So after the seminar, Q&A time come, I line up after many people, and I asked him, so Tony, so how do you see the changes in the Singapore landscape? Everybody is rushing to take their exams, to be credentialized, to have a degree, a paper, AFC, AFP, CLU, CHFC, and all that. And his answer shocked everyone. Okay, his first answer that comes out from his mouth, he said this. I believe it will shock you too. He said, "It is rubbish." Okay, all right. So before you get angry, just like everybody else who's there, he said the second thing. He said rubbish, and then he said, "It is for people who cannot sell. It is for people who cannot sell." Okay. By that time there was silence, and I believe everybody's reacting to it within themselves and not verbalizing it. But some in the front row, a lady put up her hand and stood up and asked a very challenging technical question that I probably didn't fully grasp. But Tony was able to beautifully explain and help her to understand the question that she's asking. All right, but the thing here is this: why is it that Tony talked about the fact that it is not a right thing to be focusing on degrees and credentials? I believe it's because of one thing, and that one thing is this. Okay, your ability to sell, your ability to make things happen in your sales has nothing to do with your degree, has nothing to do with your paper, has nothing to do with your ability to get and pass exams. Okay, so this brings me to an incident that I have many years ago when a friend asked me, a leader asked me this question. He said, "Leonard, how do you see the changes in the industry?" Same thing, all right? And he's asking me, based on my opinion. I think about it and I told him this. I said, if you cannot sell, you should be very worried. If you cannot sell, you should be very worried. But if you can sell, then whatever changes that will come, you will still counter it. Okay? So the 5 Shifts webinar that we are talking about today, right, is actually a webinar to help you to understand the framework of what it takes for you to sell. Okay? So based on the questions that has been put forth to me and the answers that I give, I hope it has been helpful. And what I'm going to do is I'll probably have to do another webinar, all right, to make up for today's session, all right, so that I can show you the slides one more time. And then remember, if you want to connect with me, just email me at leonard@leonardlau.com, all right, and I will help you further with any resources and information. And I will have a qualification form actually for those who wants to take this further, to have a Skype session with me, all right, with no charge, all right. I'm willing to do that for you for about 45 minutes or so to help you to implement the changes that you need in your practice. Okay, it is for you to decide whether you want to do it or not, to make that change for yourself. All right. At the webinar, at that Skype session where we are going to discuss on the your practice, you have to obviously share the situation that you're in so that I will be able to give inputs to you. All right. If I do find that you are a good candidate for our coaching session, I will offer you the next step. All right. And similarly, if you want to take the next step, you can certainly do so. Okay. Just I will provide the link. Just click on the link and you will get access to the qualification form. And once you submit it within 48 hours, okay. So I guess that's all for today. Thank you for coming by if you are here. And I look forward to see you at the next webinar, whereby I will show you the slides and everything. Okay, so I will talk to you again.